see you all back again on our channel. My name is Amara.
And my name is Gospel.
Today we're going to be looking at a very interesting topic. And we're going to be looking at the concept of the breadwinner homemaker. So, is the wife the breadwinner and then the husband the homemaker? Okay? Because we know that in a lot of marriages, there's a lot of marriages that are in this sort of situation right now, where the woman takes on the responsibility of a breadwinner and then the man takes on the responsibilities of a homemaker. So is this wrong? Is there any problem with this sort of philosophy or this sort of an arrangement in a marriage? And what do you want to say about this? Do you think that there's any sort of problem with this sort of ideology?
Well, talking about the wife, the breadwinner, and the husband, the homemaker, I think you have to take it back to many years ago where the woman was expected by the society and everyone to be the homemaker.
Yes, so traditionally that was the case.
Yes, a woman traditionally was supposed to take care of the home,
yes,
take care of the children,
yes,
take care of the husband, where the man goes out there to fetch for the
daily bread, so
provision of the family,
yes,
then it was more of
farming, agriculture,
yes.
Exactly.
The man is the one that, goes out there and, fends for the home.
Yes, yes.
Then we moved on to where the man got a job, he was supposed to make a living,
yes,
earn money, and then provide for the home. That was a natural thing.
Yes, but then society has progressed.
Yes.
So there's been a lot of changes.
And then before you talk about the changes, you should also consider the fact that traditionally women were not expected to be educated. Whether they were educated or not, it didn't really matter. So
they were supposed to stay at home, take care of the family, do the cooking while the man goes out either to hunt or to farm, and then comes back with the proceeds from the farming, and the woman was expected to take care of the home. So she was more or less in charge of the home front.
So apart from taking care of the children and all that, she was also supposed to take care of the man.
Yes,
take care of, provide his food.
Yes.
And then satisfy him sexually.
Of course.
So it was all about the man.
Yes, yes.
But things progressed where so many women are now educated.
Yes.
So many women are now, getting good jobs.
Yes. Yes. So let's not get ahead of ourselves, because it is very important, for our listeners, people who are listening to us right now. It is very important for us to set some context, because this is something that has been very controversial, and a lot of families are in this sort of situation where the women take up the responsibility of being the breadwinner, and then the man takes on the responsibility of being a homemaker. I'm talking about currently. There's been a lot of families in that situation. A lot of women are expected to get educated. A lot of them also are expected to earn, some income.
Exactly.
And at the same time, whilst being educated, whilst earning their income, they're also expected to look after the home front. So again, being a homemaker is a key responsibility. With juggling, having a job, or earning a livelihood of being educated at the same time, the homemaking, the home front shouldn't be ignored, because that's something that is key for a woman. Yeah,
like you said, so many women are expected to have the skills to earn a living.
Yes.
Whether she does that as a corporate person or in a corporate environment, or she does that at home.
Yes.
Earning income.
Yes.
Maybe having side hustle or whatever.
Oh yeah, because there's some women that some women are stay-at-home moms, or however they've got a side business that they are running.
So it is now one of the expectations, societal expectation, that a woman should have the capacity to earn income. And
in addition
in fact, most men now, when looking for someone to get married to, look out for a woman who has the capacity to earn money.
So they're looking out for someone who is employable and
Yes.
somebody who is able to,
Make financial
that is
contributions.
resourceful.
Exactly.
Yes. If we look at it from a global perspective, there exists a gender gap between men and women. So from a global perspective, more men are likely to be in higher education than women. Okay? But we see that this gap is closing. Okay? So there's a close in this gap. For example, in the UK, we've got about 57.1% of those who enrolled in higher education between 2018-2019 were women. And in Africa, we also have seen, statistical evidence have provided that about 43% of those who have enrolled in higher education are women. So we see that this gap is closing. So there's been a change. There's a kind of a trajectory that is kind of very different from what has been in the past.
That tells you that more women are getting educated.
Yes.
More women are getting more jobs or
Yes.
getting into employment.
Yes.
And making some money, earning living.
Yes.
For instance, in the US, where you have 123 million people who are either employed or seeking employment, 74.1 million of them are women.
Yes.
And the truth is that some of these women we are talking about that have good education, good jobs, corporate and big corporate jobs and businesses.
Yes.
Some of them are wives.
Yeah, and some of them a lot of them are in leadership as well.
Yeah, so it means that these wives have the capacity to make financial contributions at home.
Yeah.
And the thing is that some of them have more money than their husbands. They earn more money than their husbands.
Okay.
So that is where the issue of a woman becoming the breadwinner, and the husband being the homemaker comes in.
Okay, but again, that's not sufficient, because again we have to look at some of the data, because that's not sufficient for you to say because more women are getting educated now, hence they are more employed. There's a likelihood that they are employable, and hence they are going to be breadwinners.
It doesn't mean they are going to be breadwinner, but in a situation where the woman has more money, has the capacity to earn higher than the husband, and she takes on the financial responsibility of the family, obviously she naturally becomes the breadwinner. And you have research that has shown that when a man is the sole breadwinner, it could impact on his mental well-being. And when a woman becomes the sole breadwinner as well,
it could also impact on his mental health, well-being as well.
Overly stressful on the man.
Yes.
But then the research has found that the best situation for most men is where the woman is making at least 40% contribution of the financial responsibility at home.
Yes, and that's a study that was done by the University of Bath, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. So again, looking at how the earnings in family income, and I think this was a study that was done for looking at 6,000 families
over 15
years. So It's actually a longitudinal study looking at the patterns of earning and how that impacts on
mental well-being of
men and women within a particular setting.
Yeah. So if we look at that, the issue now is, why is it that when a woman makes more money or becomes the breadwinner, why is it that it impacts on the mental well-being of the man? Why is it stressful for most men? Why is it quite uncomfortable? Most men are quite uncomfortable with it.
I think there are a number of factors that would lead to that, and we could look at a lot of them. I think the first thing is a culture. Culture plays a huge role in all of this. So when you look at the fact that in some culture there's an inherent understanding that's been passed on from generation to generation, and a kind of unconscious bias towards the fact that a man has a traditional role of providing for the family, and the woman is supposed to take on the role of a homemaker. So it's a clear-cut sort of divide in terms of role and responsibilities within a home.
Yeah.
So a lot of people find it very difficult, especially people who come from those culture, to say, it doesn't matter how much I earn. Woman, I will always provide for you, you know, and it's a thing of pride, you know, for a man to provide for his family. And this in itself could you know, it could weigh heavily, especially when you find that the man probably loses his job, for example, and is unable to provide for his family, and of course that also weighs on the mental health of some men, and you know, their ego as well.
Yeah, because a typical man would want to take on that responsibility of providing for the family, and when that role is not there, it seems like something is missing. He's not man enough.
Man enough, yes.
It's like you ripped off his masculinity.
Exactly.
You know, and when that is the mindset of such a person, it becomes difficult to deal with. And trust me, this has caused so much issues, frictions in a lot of homes. You know, like you were talking about culture.
Yes.
You should also look at some religious belief or teachings. You know, so many people have been taught that it is the sole responsibility of a man to provide for the family.
Yes.
So, for instance, in Christian teachings, men are taught to be the providers at home. In fact, some people go as far as quoting scriptures to say that he who does not provide for the family is worse than an infidel, and that is referring to the man. So when you have this kind of belief that as a man is part of your spiritual obligation as a husband to provide for your family, and you lose that capacity to do it, it's you know, it chips off the person's self-image. It could be stressful. You know, that's part of the reason why men can feel overly stressed over that.
You know, now that you've mentioned this, another reason I think that this is a problem is that, you know, it is something that is rarely talked about by both parties. And when it is discussed, it is not discussed to the satisfaction of both parties involved. And then you find out that the man just is more or less conditioned to say, you know what, I have to help. This is my problem. I have to fix this because I'm the man in this relationship and I have to make it work.
Yeah, like you're saying, it's more when the man has that mindset that it is his responsibility to provide for the family.
And it's not our
It's not our responsibility. It's my responsibility. You know? But the issue now is, why will a woman become the breadwinner?
So there are a number of factors why a woman will take on the role of a breadwinner in a home. And you know, it could be as a result of a loss of a job, or even unemployment, or you know, the fact that there's so many reasons really. I mean, if you even look at the situation that we're in, the pandemic, the whole COVID-19, and the number of people that have lost their jobs. Now, for example, in the US, you know, it's projected that 30 to 40 million have lost their jobs. And globally speaking, about 100 million people are likely forecasted to lose their jobs. Now, if we kind of bring it home to Nigeria, for example, before the COVID, before the pandemic, right, we had about 21 million Nigerians were unemployed before the pandemic. Now, think about the impact this is likely to have. I mean, the pandemic itself is likely to have on a lot of families, you know, globally speaking, and also men. So some men would lose their job, would become unemployed.
So what we are trying to say is that some of these men that have lost their jobs are husbands. So the pandemic in itself has created more issues around unemployment, loss of job. People have lost their businesses. You know, a lot of businesses have gone bankrupt. You know, that means some of these men will lose their capacity to provide for their families. Invariably.
I mean, it's not just going to affect men alone. Even women are not left out of this.
But in the context of our discussion, it now means that in a situation where the man has lost his job, and the wife still has her job, obviously the woman is going to be the breadwinner.
Yes.
So the issue is, apart from losing job, what else can lead to that? You talk about issues around some men who are lazy. There are men who are very lazy. They don't want to get a job.
Yes.
They would, lazy around in the morning. Some of them will go out there to do betting and
so they are kind of into gambling and all that. So yes.
Sometimes they depend on relatives to support them.
Yes.
They depend on others to give them money to fend for them for themselves. So such men wouldn't be able to provide for the home
because they say, "Oh, I've lost my job, and there's nothing to do. I'm waiting to get employed. I'm waiting to get an employment." And then they kind of, and the thing is, even when you've lost your job, you're talking about laziness. Some people decide not to upskill themselves, so they decide not to even probably learn a trade or even some sort of education. To help with your employability. Yes,
that adds to it. It means some people want to work, they want to earn a living, they want to make money, but they don't have the capacity to do so. They are not empowered.
Yes.
They are not educated.
Yes.
They don't have skills that will help them to get good jobs or to make a living.
Yes.
And then you talk about people who have a mindset, cultural mindset, religious mindset. There are communities where they have this belief that women should be the ones to take care of the family.
Yes.
So when the day breaks, you see women going out to hustle.
Yes.
And the men sit at home drinking, playing games, Ludo, and the rest of them. It happens. And then there are other mindsets where people believe whatever happens as the day comes, we take it that way. They pray every day, believing that somehow God will provide for them. If He doesn't provide, thank God I have a wife who can hustle and take care of the family.
Money.
These are some of the issues around.
So not owning it, not taking responsibility on the home front, and not even trying to figure it together as a team, and having a workable sort of projection or a plan. How do we come out of this? Because it could be a phase, in a man's life.
It's a phase where it's temporary, where the man has lost his job. He's hardworking, he's enterprising, like we are talking about COVID,
things happen,
which has affected a lot of people.
But
then look at it this way: some men have the money. They are not breadwinners, not because they don't have the money, just because they are selfish. They are all self-centered. They want to take care of themselves, buy their things, buy what they need. They can have good cars, they can have all the latest phones, but when it comes to helping the family, they don't do it.
That's a problem.
Some men as well have side chicks. They take care of them, they give them money, but when it's at home, they don't give their wives anything. So they allow the woman to labor, suffer, do everything by herself.
Yes, and this in itself is a fundamental issue, and it needs a lot of a look at, because a lot of families, maybe not in the situation that we've described, a lot of families could fall into one or two
different categories. Maybe different periods of time.
Yes, different phases. And also you find, because picking up from what you said, you find that some men are in that situation, or some women rather are in a situation where they take on the responsibility of a breadwinner because of poor health of a man. So when a man maybe probably becomes ill, as a result of whatever it is, and then the woman now takes on the burden, to cater for the family and provide for the family. The thing is that a lot of families, a lot of homes are in this situation right now, and the men feel, we're talking about the factors, the reason why a lot of men might feel a bit awkward, taking on the responsibility of a homemaker. A lot of men are in this situation right now, and it's like a burden.
Especially where it's circumstantial. The man is hardworking. He wants
has
to
the
make
ability.
money.
Yes, he's not lazy.
He wants to be employed.
Exactly.
But the circumstance around him doesn't allow him to be the breadwinner.
Yes.
That becomes...
It becomes a problem. Yes. And he doesn't like it anyways.
Yes.
And
the wife doesn't like it as well.
Yes. So in that sort of situation, how can it be handled? Because the fact that it is temporary speaks of the fact that there's a solution to this. It could be worked, it could be navigated, because it's a point where there's sort of challenges and it's like a pickle, and they can actually circumvent it. But it takes two to get it sorted. It takes two to tango. So the man has to come to a mindset where he's willing and able and vulnerable enough to talk with his wife about it. And how they can push forward.
I think there is a solution to this.
Yes.
They can work together and be happy. They can enjoy their relationship even though there is a shift in responsibility or roles.
Someone listening to you right now will say it's easier said than done. Because you say someone is actually in a situation like that, and you say they can be happy.
But there are situations where the two of them are together. The woman is the breadwinner, the man is the homemaker, and they are happy. So the question now is, how can they make it happen? How can two people in this kind of situation have a happy home where the man is the homemaker and the woman is breadwinner? And that will take us to a subsequent episode.
Okay, but bear in mind, we say it's a temporary situation.
Yes, it could be a temporary situation, but you don't know how long it's going to be. So for the meantime that this is the situation, it is important that the people understand and have an understanding, have an arrangement,
an exit plan,
how they would enjoy their marriage,
even
though the woman is the breadwinner and the man is the homemaker.
Yeah. I think the main thing here is that they are working together as a team.
The question is there anything wrong with the man being the homemaker and the woman being the breadwinner?
Okay, now this is getting...
We will answer that question
in the next episode. Yes, so I think we just have to wrap up now, and kind of very interesting what we've covered today. There are a lot of people, a lot of homes in this situation right now, and probably you're listening to us, or people who are in the same situation right now. Considering the fact that the pandemic did happen, so many people's circumstances financially, the employment wise, and so many things in their career changed. But it's not the end of the world. There's still hope, isn't it?
There is hope.
There's still hope.
Especially for the men who have lost their jobs and they feel like there's a shift in the role. They feel bruised. They feel their ego is damaged because they've lost their job, and their wives
are taking on more.
Spending for them. There is hope.
There's hope, and I think everything all depends on the mindset
and understanding.
Everything depends on your perspective. And everything depends on how you plan, moving forward, how you project moving forward. Working together, navigating these circumstances together without allowing it to break your relationship, without allowing it to break your marriage. Remember what we always say in our episode, your marriage is more important. Things will test your relationship. All of these things are testing your relationship. But what you share, the bond that you have is more important. Your happiness is more important than anything external. Okay? So we just want to encourage you, because you can navigate this, but you cannot navigate it alone. It has to be done together as a unit. That is key.
We'll ask you, is there anything wrong with the man being the homemaker while the woman is the breadwinner? Please drop your comment in the comment section below and let us know what you think.
Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. It was great to have you all engaging with our channel. Please do not forget to subscribe if you haven't done so, and please turn on your notification bell. Now, we'll see you on the next episode. Have a fantastic day. Goodbye.
Bye.